multiple fatalities, and this includes children as well.
Now on WTOL 11 Plus now, a tour bus carrying more than dozens of people crashes on a busy interstate. What happened in the moments leading up to the crash?
This incident appears to be friendly fire, as we did not recover a firearm from the perpetrator on scene.
And a police officer shot while responding to the scene of a carjacking, but it wasn't the suspected carjacker who ended up shooting him. What we know about the moments leading up to the shooting and the officer's condition tonight. And the home of a former national security advisor searched by the FBI. We're finding out why the FBI was there and what the search is connected to. Welcome into WTOL 11 Plus, now Toledo's only local live full 30-minute exclusively streaming newscast only on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Kaylee Maritet. We start tonight off with a story about a Toledo staple closing its doors for the foreseeable future. A fire broke out at Schmucker's this morning and it now has to go through repairs. Megan Hartnett has more.
That was the worst phone call I could ever get.
Famous for its pies, a favorite Toledo diner is temporarily closing its doors after a fire Friday morning.
I went inside and there was water dripping from the ceiling, and the ceiling was all torn down. Behind the counter, the floor was completely covered with debris.
Owner Doug Schmucker says the more than 24 fire personnel who responded were able to save most of the building and keep the fire from spreading. Schmucker says there is one silver lining in all of this.
The outpouring of support already by the community.
The owner of the restaurant's next door neighbor, Rockets Cafe, says he is ready to lend a helping hand.
It is a nightmare, but in the same time, it's something we gotta stand each other and help each other.
Loyal customers are showing their support online too, with hundreds of comments saying how much they love the restaurant and volunteering to help in any way.
Yeah, it touches me. We're here because of them, and they've been wonderful over the last 77 years, and they continue to be wonderful. And we plan to be back and stronger than ever.
Those repairs are already underway, with reconstruction crews showing up this morning.
We're hoping to get action on repairs as soon as possible. Don't know if that's going to be 3 weeks or 6 weeks, but we're going to push as hard as we can, as fast as we can.
Megan Hartnett is joining us in studio tonight. Megan, the owner Doug seemed to get a little emotional there during your interview with him. Was there anything else he told you?
Yeah, he, obviously was getting a little choked up, and really the time he showed the most emotion was when he was talking about this customer support that they've been receiving. He talked about how there's been so many Facebook comments. People are even offering to already start GoFundMes for them. Any way that they can help, helping even to offer make pies. And he said right now that they're just figuring out where things stand. It's still, early. It's only been hours at this point. So they're just trying to figure things out. And he says that at a certain point, they will let the community know how they can help. They're going to keep posting updates online. So to stay tuned for those. Right now, it's been kind of a whirlwind for him.
Of course. So the fire happened around 7 o'clock this morning. You were there at noon, just a few hours later. There were still customers coming in for breakfast and lunch, people rolling in. What were some of the things the customers told you when you were there?
Obviously, they're pulling in and you just see them kind of stop because there's these big trucks standing there. There's these giant yellow signs saying that they're closed, and people were like, what happened? What's going on? And I tell them that there's a fire, and they're obviously just like, oh my gosh, these people were clearly regulars. They're coming there all the time. They didn't even think twice to check if, of course, something had happened. And a lot of them were talking about just how much the restaurant means to them, how much they love the food, they love the people, they love, of course, the pie. And, there was those people in person, but online, there's been this same type of sentiment going around. We've been looking through some of the Facebook comments, and people are talking about how they used to go there with their families before school started, and they're spending a lot of their time there. It's just one of those places where it seems like people seem to love it. And for the situation, obviously horrible, they're ready to be there to support this restaurant that's meant so much to them throughout time.
Megan Hartnett in studio with us tonight. Thanks. We appreciate it.
It's a full-size tour bus, heavy amount of damage. It did roll. Most people, I'm assuming, on the bus did not have a seatbelt on. That is the reason why we have so many ejected people on this bus. But like I said, the bus is extremely damaged.
Multiple people are dead and others are injured after a tour bus crash on I-90 in New York. Troopers say the bus lost control, went into the median, overcorrected, and then ended up in a ditch. Multiple people are dead, trapped, or injured. Officials say there were approximately 50 people on board coming back from Niagara Falls headed to New York City. It's not clear how many people are dead. We'll be sure to follow this and bring you the latest details. Well, staying in New York, city officials say a police officer was shot twice during a friendly fire incident in Queens this morning. This happened while the officer was responding to a carjacking. An Uber driver reported he was forced out of his car. Officers responded and several of them opened fire. The suspect wasn't hit, but an officer was struck in the hand and leg. He was taken to the hospital and went into surgery. Well, this morning, the FBI searched the Maryland home and Washington office of an ex-Trump national security advisor named John Bolton. According to a source familiar with the matter, the search stems from a now resumed investigation into whether Bolton disclosed classified information in his 2020 book. Bolton served as President Donald Trump's third national security advisor. Wall Street jumped after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell signaled a possible interest rate cut in September. Powell, under pressure from President Trump, also spoke about economic uncertainty tied to immigration and tariffs. While Trump has backed off threats to fire Powell, he's now targeting Fed board member Lisa Cook. Cook was appointed by former President Joe Biden and is facing accusations of mortgage fraud from a Trump official. Well, the State Department has paused issuing work visas for foreign commercial truck drivers. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the increasing number of foreign drivers is endangering American lives and undercutting the livelihoods of American truckers. It comes after the Department of Transportation said it was investigating a truck driver accused of making an illegal U-turn that caused a deadly wreck in Florida. Federal authorities have said the truck driver entered the U.S. illegally.
Much lower levels of humidity going to plunge into the area through the course of the weekend. That cooler autumn feel. I'm going to preview the weather impact and how long it will last coming up next.
Well, still to come, he's nearly 100 years old and is showing no signs of slowing down. Meet the man who owns one Texas barbecue restaurant. Right now on our WTOL 11 TikTok, you can help us kick off Big Board Friday. Noel Blumel takes us to one of the biggest rivalries in Northwest Ohio.
High school football is officially back in Ohio, and it's kicking off with one of the state's longest-running rivalries. Here's 3 things you need to know about the River Rock rivalry between Defiance and Napoleon High School. Number 1, this rivalry is over a century old. The Bulldogs and Wildcats first took the field in 1916. And as of this week, the 2025 game marks the 103rd time they've met. Number 2, the River Rock Trophy. As you can see, they have the Defiance and Napoleon helmets at the base, but even more sentimental, the rock. Not this rock. This rock. It sits on top of the trophy and was actually pulled from the Maumee River, which runs between these two high schools. The trophy hasn't been around as long as the game itself. It actually first came to light in 2009. Number 3, Napoleon leads the series all time at 56, 44, and 2. So not by much. This rivalry often comes down to the wire, especially in recent years. Last season in 2024, Napoleon won by 1 point in an overtime thriller. But as for this year's game, Defiance took the trophy back once again in a 1-point game, 20-19 the final.
And of course, it is Big Board Friday. We're covering all the biggest matchups tonight. You can check out the full story on the River Rock rivalry right now on WTOL.com. Well, trending now in Ohio, Chevy Chase, the actor, is hosting a Christmas vacation tour for the holiday season. He'll host a conversation in front of a live audience before a screening of the classic film. But there's not a show, unfortunately, set for our area. The tour is scheduled for stops in Florida, North Carolina, Texas, and New Jersey. Now, you may have heard your zodiac sign can help you find a love match or even know when to look for a new job. But now it can also help you decide what to stream. Yeah, Netflix just launched your zodiac watch list. It's a new astrology hub with movie and show recommendations tailored to each sign. For example, if you're an Aquarius, maybe you should binge Stranger Things, Resident Alien, or Venom: The Last Dance. The Zodiac collections will start appearing automatically on your Netflix profile this weekend. Do you know your sign?
I'm not big into all that.
I'm not either.
I'm really not. But, you know, I'm always struck by, like, the recommended for you.
Sure.
Because I'm, like, looking at it, I'm like, I would never watch that. I don't like that. That's not me. And then I realize my kids hacked into my Netflix account. Now I know why I'm being suggested all these things.
All these random things. Well, so maybe this weekend you might want to give it a try if it's tailored to you.
I'll give it a try, I guess. We'll see how it goes. But I don't stream or watch a ton of things.
Yeah.
Too busy.
Mel and I were talking about all the murder documentaries we watch, and that's about.
My wife as well. She's like the true crime, and she's like, you got to watch this with me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight if I watch this. But I digress.
Well, we might be able to sleep with the windows open tonight,
This is the time of the year, and I tell you, the weather this time of the year is just spectacular. Low humidity, great night tonight, and we'll get over to the big weather maps because here's what we're going to be looking at. Temperature-wise, we're going to be falling back into the 70s at the end of the weekend. Cooler, partly sunny skies will paint the picture on Sunday. Highs in the mid to upper 70s, and it will be gorgeous feeling weather. So where we are right now, upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Findlay, you're checking in at 80, lower 80s over toward Wauseon and Napoleon, and it's a gorgeous night for Friday night football games. No threat of any rain. I'm not talking a drop of rain, a few fair weather clouds, and even those clouds are going to kind of be dissipating as we go into the evening tonight. A few things we're going to be tracking. I have a cold front that comes in over the course of the weekend. So even what we're feeling right now, relatively comfortable humidity. This is really going to flush any of that humidity out. Front arrives. This is late Saturday, more so toward the evening. That's going to take that humidity out of the picture. I think this front's going to be far too dry to allow any widespread rainfall, so we're not expecting any rain with this. But by the time we get into Sunday, much lower levels of humidity. In fact, we're towards the drier end of the scale. Very dry conditions will be expected. It's putting me at least a little bit in the mood. How many days until fall? Countdown's on. Now down to 30 days, exactly 1 month from today, that we see the arrival of autumn. Rest of the night tonight, hour by hour forecast. We have dry conditions across the area. A few fair weather clouds overhead tonight. A little bit of an increase of the cloud cover through the day tomorrow. This is going to be some filtered sunshine ahead of that cold front. Now the front itself, it makes its way into the area late Saturday evening. And if we see a shower, a sprinkle, I'm looking at a moment or two of rain. That would be about 10 or 15 minutes of rain or less. Nothing meaningful, nothing widespread as we go through your Saturday. On the other side of that cold front, we see lower levels of humidity that will return. And temperatures by the time we reach Sunday will be back into the 70s to round out the weekend. So let's take you through it hour by hour as we go into Saturday. First thing in the morning, if you're an early riser, probably our best window of a little bit of sunshine. We jump from the low to mid 60s into the mid 70s by the time we hit lunchtime. We're going to continue to climb upper 70s. We'll turn to lower 80s into the afternoon. And it's very likely we stay entirely dry as that front rolls through. And that front comes through Friday evening, or Saturday evening rather. Rest of your weekend forecast, we've got 84 for the high on Saturday. We drop back to 77. Reason why, we're going to be on the other side of that cold front by the time we get towards Sunday. So partly sunny skies on Saturday, mild Sunday, and the breeze will have a bit of a cooler feel to it as we get into Sunday. Saturday, that's the warmest day I've got in my entire 10-day forecast. 84 degrees. We're back to 77 as we get into Sunday. An isolated shower Sunday. A few showers Monday and Tuesday. Those could actually be some lake effect rain showers. We plunge back to 72 as we get into Monday. Overnight lows 54, near 50 for the low on Tuesday. Cooler, crisp day. Only 73. Could be a day that we get out the sweatshirts, or at least maybe some of the long sleeve shirts and pants. Highs into the next week. We'll return back into the mid 70s on Wednesday. Thursday, 79 degrees. Upper 70s will continue late week. And by next weekend, we're going to have highs that will be very close to 80 degrees as we round out that 10-day forecast. But much of the 10-day outlook is at or below average, with no 90s out there through the end of August. Let's look at your 10-day forecast. Kaylee, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Earlier this week, we brought you the story of an 86-year-old man who works at a Chick-fil-A in Findlay. Now we want to introduce you to a 97-year-old man who owns a barbecue restaurant in Houston. Our sister station in Texas has the story.
It's the lunchtime crowd at J-Bar M Barbecue. According to many, some of the best barbecue in Texas.
What do you come here for?
I come for the brisket. The brisket and the brisket burger and the barbecue chicken.
The smoked turkey salad is amazing. It's amazing. See how skinny I am?
But let's rewind a couple of hours to the morning before the place even opens.
Good morning, good morning.
And this gentleman, the owner of the restaurant, 97-year-old John Toomey.
Everything okay?
Morning, sir. He's here every morning.
Oh, good morning, Jesus.
Like a doctor making his rounds, checking on the staff, and of course, the brisket.
Got a good bark.
Yes, sir. Mr. Toomey even checks on old Smokey.
You good boy. That's our mascot.
Part of his daily routine, sitting at his favorite table, reading his newspapers and printed articles. A Houstonian born and raised, U of H alum and former attorney whose lifelong dream was to open his own barbecue joint. A dream realized 4 years ago at the age of 93.
What keeps you so young?
I don't really know. It surprised me.
Do you think coming to this restaurant every day helps you live longer?
Yes, it gives me an interest in something to do.
This is his happy place. Lifelong dream fulfilled, customers' bellies filled.
What's your advice to people when it comes to living a long life?
I would say get off the porch.
Get off the porch.
Yeah, and do something active, and I think they'll enjoy life a lot more and live longer.
And maybe eat more barbecue?
Yeah, they could do that too. I'll go for that.
Here's to your health.
Well, John Toomey's interest in barbecue says it sparked when he was a kid, when he would borrow bricks from neighbors to build a makeshift pit and smoke some meat. Now, still to come, you may see another strike in Toledo. Libby Glass employees are expected to hit the picket line for the first time in almost 10 years. Plus, no deal reached. The deadline for Michigan lawmakers to approve the K-12 funding budget has passed. Now one school tells us how they're planning to move forward. And tensions running high during a meeting between Toledo city leaders. We'll tell you what sparked the debate. We're thankful you're here with us for WTOL 11 Plus now. Toledo's only exclusively streaming 30-minute live and local newscasts. We're breaking down your top stories for the night. A Fremont firefighter has been arrested. City officials say Brandon Mosher was arrested in the result of an investigation from the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The Fremont's police department is working with Ashland authorities to ensure Mosher is placed on unpaid administrative leave. The exact charge or charges he's facing is unclear tonight. We're just a few hours away from possibly seeing a Libby glass strike. The United Steelworkers have been in contract negotiations since October of last year. The sticking points are pay, overtime, and health insurance costs. Union reps met with the company yesterday in a last-ditch effort to prevent workers from hitting the picket line. However, the director of the USW District 1 says a deal wasn't reached. The workers, represented by the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, as well as the United Steelworkers, plan to go on strike at 11:59 tonight. A heated debate today between the Lucas County Commissioners and the county's Investment Advisory Committee over an Israeli bond. Commissioner Pete Gerken raised concerns about the ethics of the investment, which is the county's only foreign holding. Treasurer Lindsay Webb, who oversees county finances, said the county would face penalties if it pulled out before the bond matures in December of 2026. Community members also came and spoke at the meeting, saying they don't want their tax dollars funding genocide.
I thought it was an important form of government today to have people who are directly affected by our policies come in and speak from their hearts. And that way you saw it today. You saw some very moving testimony that says our investment is directly funding things that are killing people, destroying people's families.
And I feel like it's important that we come and we stand up and we be the voices for the voiceless, and that we redirect our council members and our advisory people that our money should stay here in our city, and we shouldn't be funding people for just bombs.
Real bonds. In the end, no action was taken for the current bond. However, the board voted 3-2 to stop investing in foreign bonds after 2026. Gerken also pushed for a review of the board's policies, but that motion was tabled. Michigan lawmakers are supposed to have a budget in place by the end of June, but now almost 2 months past that, there's still no budget in place, and that's putting school districts in a tough spot. The big issue right now is that Michigan doesn't have a state budget deal yet. If a state budget doesn't pass, this means school funding can be delayed or interrupted, which could lead to potential cuts in resources and other services that affect students. The impact on students can also include possible reduction or cuts in programs. The superintendent of Adrian Public Schools says they're prepared either way to provide the best for their kids.
We're confident here because we qualified for the federal free lunch program before the state came in and gave that to all schools. So we're relatively confident that we will be in good shape for this school year anyway with the free lunch program, but we still don't know for sure.
Superintendent Nate Parker did not specifically say whether any cuts would happen without the funding, but if the legislature does not pass the budget soon, school districts will miss out on their state aid payment in October. Well, today marks what might as well be as an official holiday. It's a kickoff to Big Board Friday, sponsored by Ohio Northern University, and we can't wait. We're talking the biggest games in the area, the best bands, and the teams behind it all.
Every snap, every play, every school. Under the lights, where legends are made and communities come alive. The biggest plays, the loudest fans. From rivalries to rising stars, it's Friday night, and that can only mean one thing. It's Big Board Friday.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the official kickoff to Big Board Friday, sponsored by Ohio Northern University. We've got the whole team here under the lights at Whitmer Memorial Stadium to bring you our 2025 preseason special. Chase Bachman alongside Noel Blomel here with me. And guys, we're going to be taking you through the top storylines this season, as well as a quick unveil of our Week 1 slate. And Noel, obviously, this season's coming close.
It definitely is. It's hard to believe that this will be my third season covering high school football in Northwest Ohio. Southeast Michigan got it started with Whiteford in year 1. Season 2 last year with the Battle of Sylvania, so I'm excited to see what Season 3 has in store.
Absolutely. And Chase, obviously we're here in NLL territory. Buckeye Division should be a lot of fun to watch this year.
Absolutely, Tyler. You and I have talked about it. This is the best time of year for me. I love this season. High school football season is back, and there's maybe no better conference than the NLL Buckeye Division. All right, we are in year 3 of the NLL's divisional era. Anthony Wayne is the team to beat in the Buckeye Division. The Generals have back-to-back division titles the last 2 seasons, and 2 years ago it was a shared title with Whitmer and Findlay. Last season was an outright undefeated season. Of course, the big dogs all have a chance to win the title this year. Anthony Wayne, Perrysburg, Findlay, and Whitmer are all breaking in new quarterbacks this season. Here's Perrysburg's Dirk Connor and Anthony Wayne's Andy Brungard on competing in the Buckeye Division.
It's an opportunity for the seniors to begin their legacy. Like you said, it's Team 76. So we actually just had a conversation about all the teams and their records and what they accomplished for their year. So it's our seniors' turn to leave their legacy.
So we expect to win that many, if not more, again this year. And we're just going to work. It's dull, but it's what we do.
Well, you can catch Toledo's news leader, WTOL 11 Sports, kicking off Big Board Friday right here on WTOL 11 Plus. Then join us for streaming at 10:30 and 11 o'clock tonight for the official start of the high school football season. We can't wait to see you there. Well, here's a reason to smile tonight. More than 25 dogs hit the waves in Hawaii. The dogs join their owners for the Ocean Fest Surfer competition in Hawaii. Some pets rode the waves alone while others rode with some help. This was the 10th year of the competition. Teams competed for the year's supply of Raising Canes and other prizes. Oh.
A wipeout.
Yeah, quite. This is impressive though. How do you get your dog to stay?
Oh, that pup's living the life right there.
If you want to know dogs in Hawaii, this is the epitome.
What a rough life it would be. Is it still hang 10 when you got paws?
I think so. I don't know, 20?
I can't count.
I don't know what that is. I was going to say the weather there is probably really nice, but I don't really have any complaints about the weather here right now.
I think we should keep a scorecard for Friday nights, especially with Big Board Friday. Another outstanding night tonight.
I know we were talking with Tyler, too. We had a really good year last year weather-wise. Up until the end, it got a little snowy.
It got a little snowy, but you expect that.
Yeah.
We really haven't had any stinker nights, so to speak, and really starting off with great weather, and even our 10-day forecast looking toward next week looking pretty good. Here's what we're breaking down for the weekend. Saturday, 84 degrees. Think about tomorrow as we do have a cold front that arrives late evening. That front will add some cloud cover, may kick the breeze up a little bit. Any isolated shower threat is going to be so remote. I'll go ahead and say the day is going to be entirely dry. Sunday, an isolated shower, but again, largely dry. We're back to 77, cooler, a little bit breezy at times, low 70s on Monday. There's a few days, Monday, Tuesday, and early Wednesday, that will feel fall-like. There's no way around it. It's kind of a hint of what's ahead, even as we look forward to early September, low 70s, but the breeze will be cooler, the clouds will be on and off, and a few isolated showers. With those overnight lows, upper 40s and low 50s early next week.
I know we're going to be wishing we had this a few months from now, so no complaints. Right. It's been a nice break, though.
It is incredible how quickly we go from one season to the next. Yes. We had the 90-degree summer heat, and now we're starting to make that transition.
Well, thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 Plus. We'll see you later tonight for our kickoff of Big Board Friday.